Okay. So last session, we went two very different routes with the party as they enjoyed their little short time. Some of us decided to become great philosophers. Others of us decided to continue our skill as warriors. A little something for everyone, it seems, in Thessalys. Uh, Indeed, Etherith, Chaplin, I think Ed was I believe Ed was still dealing with his space cough, as he does. And yeah, so Chaplin and Ethereth went and helped out around the school a little bit and taught a little bit of theology to the people there, and also about the meaning of sort of like philosophy and study and progress versus enjoying life and the general bliss of taking time to enjoy your life and levity. Um, we also had another quest that needed solving, where Basson and Arendil went deep, deep into the woods to track down an artifact that the philosophers were looking for. Ooh, or not in a battle. My apologies. Um, and how did that go? It went actually really good. You guys achieved it. You achieved your quest. You found a what you would have recognized as an illithid shuttlecraft, which is very unusual for the plane shifting illithid. And you figured out why they had a need for the shuttle. It seems that they are bringing something with them, some strange artifact. You follow the tracks. It seems that the illithid were attacked by some being capable of radiant piercing. Um, it was Saeed who believed that it was, of course, a great Gith Yankee war party that slew them, though perhaps Rendell had other ideas in the back of his mind. And in the end, you guys managed to find the item, take care of what was left of the illithid, and bring it back to the Agora to trade it in for some hard-earned coin and well, actually not coin, a super slick set of armor that Arendelle now wears, basically a bronze muscle coating that will function as plate armor for Arendelle, and also show off his sick abs. It is, yeah, it's been a successful day for the crew of gaining a little money, a little prestige, and maybe a magic item. That is where we left off. So, what would we like to do with this day?
There was still a couple of jobs when so we had the merchant supply caravan. There was the Mage's War Quest, which was underground,
Yep.
and then the Abyssal Quest, which was where we needed to use the ship for that one
Yep.
as a crew.
Explore ruins under the sea.
So yeah, we got them.
Yeah, that was the abyssal one. Yeah. Very cool. I'm going to see if those ones are still in progress or if they haven't been picked up by other adventurers. The Abyssal Rift one is still going. What was the other quest?
Merchant supply caravan.
The supply caravan has been accepted and completed by another set of adventurers. But there may be other quests going up. There's quests going up all the time.
And then we had Mage's War Quest, which was the
That
one
one's still going.
underground with the aberrations.
Yeah, that one's definitely still going.
Okay. Do we want to do any of them, or do we want to find something else, or try something else?
I was thinking we might check in with the mirrors, see if we can't words. try
That
to
seems like a
pinpoint
good
where Ed's
idea.
brother is.
From the table.
Yep.
I think we've been kind of told, hey, unless you have a part of him by the mirror twice now, right? In a way, like Ed was told the first time we saw him, like they need something that connects to him on, and then so that's the scene that Ed would remember in character, and then above the table, even though Ed wasn't there, Hassan had a solo scene where more or less the mirror told her the same thing, right?
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, he
that's more of
basically
a
said,
memory check, making sure what I know Ed would know.
yeah, basically he said like the mirror said like if you like the more of him that you bring to the mirror,
Okay.
the more the familiar the mirror can be with this person, the better. So like a bust or a drawing, great. A a piece of his clothing, fantastic. Like if you bring literally a piece of him, like his fingernails or something, extra good. So he's like the more familiar I can be with the person, the easier it will be.
Got it. It's been a while since I
Yeah.
asked, so I don't remember.
Yeah, it's all good.
Yeah.
So that's the best thing to think of. If I the more familiar the mirror can be, the easier it'll be to find him.
I have an idea, but I'll ask it in character because you didn't mention it, so that makes it even more fun.
Okay.
I've been thinking about that. We need something a little bit more direct for them. Now part of me, don't classify it as a self harm, but I considered like cutting off a piece of a nail or a finger, seeing if it'll find them. But that'll just find me, I imagine. However, I've not tried working on the magic of it yet, but I do have an old, well, I wasn't the only mind creating. My brother created with me, and I've not tried replicating one of his creations. And I don't imagine the mirror um, knows much about it, but maybe where, it's what he gave me, which would be Ed's tools, his like his specific his artificer tools. These, these are worth a shot. They're the oldest thing I have that's made it with me. So,
Good work. Um, I could try to beseech the gods for at least a little bit of guidance. I feel closer to them here than I ever did in realm space.
I pulled request, but they're worth it. Not the gods might know something my brother wouldn't, so that might be worth a better option.
I can cast guidance as well for whoever needs it.
What do you mean by better connection, by the
Um, Hecate is part of the same pantheon as the gods that everyone here worships. This is, I suppose you would call it the seat of, well, the seat of their power. So, realm space, Hecate is maybe something more of a fringe subject of worship. Here, everyone knows who she is. Everyone knows her name. And you actually, were you there? Were you here when we saw like the dead god in the astral sea?
I saw that.
Okay, yeah. I
Uh,
mean, you've seen what happens when a god is forgotten. They die. So, out in realm space, there weren't many who knew of Hecate, but here everyone knows. And so,
no, I understand that. I'm more or less was under the impression everything Hecate gave you was more of a gift.
mm,
But does that mean she's more giving here, or perhaps you're more tapped in? I was very curious, man.
um, just a,
Have you visited her?
I can only call it just a feeling, really.
Oh, I've seen what your feelings can do. Sometimes they've been great help. Other times they've reminded me what fear is. So just maybe it's worth, checking in on her, see if she feels that connection.
I suppose it would be the difference between feeling as if I'm being watched from very far away to being watched just out of the corner of my eye. But let's sure. You know what? Just for like the sake of like I don't know, stirring the pot a bit or just like interest, I'm gonna expend one of my uh tokens of favor with Athena to see.
Ah,
But I want to play it as that it's not intended on Ethra's part to like speak to
Dangerous
Athena,
game.
rather Athena is just like interjecting.
got it. So what exactly are you calling upon? Like, what are you
I'm
calling upon her to do?
I want some guidance on terms of how to locate Ed's brother, some, a hint or just a come with something to point us in the right direction.
Okay. Where are you guys right now?
Um,
Question.
I want to say by the ship. Seems
Yeah, you
like a
guys are by the ship. Yeah, whatever you guys want. It'll help me know how I want to go about this.
They were
Are
like
you,
in line for a kebab the whole time.
yeah, we're in line for euros.
Yeah.
Incredible. Um, cool. So we'll see that you guys are by the we'll say that maybe your ship kind of relocated itself to like the Spelljammer docks and not the outskirts of the city.
yeah.
Be around your own people. So you guys are kind of hanging around the Spelljammer docks near your ship. Um, and you beseech Athena, the goddess of wisdom and warfare, to help you find Ed's brother. Um, Very interesting. I know exactly. Oh, cool, cool. So cool. Okay, you kind of like think to Athena. You beseech her, help you find the brother of Ed, Jordan. You kind of look around, hope that her guidance is near. And as I've described before, the Spelljammer dock, this portion of the ship, is in a slightly elevated district. It's a little above the common rabble, shall we say. And as you look down to the fine streets below, sort of like near the Luminous Agora, you do see the statue of Athena, amongst many others. Shield, spear clad, helmet back. You see sitting on the top of her shield is an owl. It is the middle of the day, and they are nocturnal creatures. So this is unusual. And it sort of spins its head around, looking about. You see a small group of people are like, oh, looking up at
Yeah.
the owl, like it's a sign.
It's a sign.
And as they does so, the owl, light as a feather, is going to flutter off, and it's going to flutter off in the direction of you were. I'm going to say towards the artisan quarter, but more specifically, or no, sorry, the entertainment quarter, but more specifically towards the what's it called? The Faylight Street district. That's sort of like off, sort of like off Broadway sort of street.
Yeah.
That sort of back alley where you found those potions. Kind of flies in that direction, kind of disappears into that district, the night market.
Etherith kind of huffs to himself. I suppose that's as clear a sign as any. We're going back to the shifty market, Captain.
In the what?
To the shifty market you go.
Bisan
Yeah,
looks
so
at Aaron.
go
Bisan looks
ahead.
at Arendelle and says, "We're going to a shifty market."
Yes.
It just looks way too excited about it.
It seems like the shifty market is the place everybody wants to go. Especially the Autonome. He's, I don't know, he's fixated by that place. I don't know why.
Or did I give that to? Let me just check something. I think I did. Did I give Chaplin the potion that transforms someone into a GIF?
I think it was mentioned, but I wasn't in game when it happened, so I don't have it in my inventory. Did you?
It's not in my inventory anymore, so I'm going to
Okay.
say that I did because I feel like that's like a useful pranking
Nice.
tool.
Oh yeah. Gift potion, I'll take it.
Love a good pranking tool. Okay. Unfortunately, there won't be Tailspire. I've tried to load it up 3 times and it's not worked. So we're gonna theater the mind a little bit this week. My apologies, guys. Not my usual setup. Okay. Was that?
I said, all good, sir.
You make your way down the entertainment district. Things are a little calmer right now, as it is the middle of the day. And as you go, and you're making your long way there is going to be one thing of interest that you are going to see. There is a old woman on the side of the street. She is sitting on the side of the street like a beggar might, except she is sitting on this like large tapestry rug, and in front of her are bones in a bowl. There are little figurines carved of stone. She's wearing like long, sort of like like a long tattered cloak, and she's also got wraps around her eyes. So she is a sort of this blind kind of magic woman on the side of the road, and she's kind of like shuffling a deck of cards, and she has a little bowl with a couple of coppers and silvers in it. Any interest in peeking by, or do you want to continue
Etherith
on?
will be absolutely intrigued because this looks. If I had to guess, excuse me, madam, might you be
Yes.
something of a diviner?
Yes, I am. I am. Would you care to sit and maybe have some questions answered to you by the gods?
I think I would.
Bring your other 4 friends too. The gods have questions and answers for them as well.
Sort of backing everyone over, like,
L stands like right like parallel with at their shoulder, like as he's sitting, yeah.
Oh, this is fun. Should I bring the broom?
The
Sure.
broom sort of sweeps over after Chaplin. Goes. Now, let me first do a little test. I would wish to know who I'm talking to. The gods speak to us all, but they would show favor in particular to some of you. I would wish to know who those gods are, if you would indulge an old woman.
Oh, I'm probably one of those.
I'd like a. Can I like? This might be like a bit of a weird insight check. I'd just like to kind of ascertain whether or not this is someone who would like freak out at the idea of interacting with a worshipper of Hecate, or if they
Make
would
an insight
like
check.
be cool with it.
Yeah, go ahead.
Are you
Make an insight check.
Is she cool?
Yeah, you cool,
Not a
bro?
narc, is she?
You're a narc, homie? What's up?
Not 20, 26.
Not 2026. You get the sense that this is a woman who has a deep connection to the gods. And you don't think that she judges, but you don't think she judges in the same way people around here would. Like some people might be like, "Oh, Hecate, evil," and she might be like, "Oh, Hecate, evil," but like also cool, bro. Like she's not gonna judge you. She's like, oh, she's like a blind prophet. Like she's, you know.
I am Etherith. I'm a follower of the Witch of the Crossroads.
Ah, a proud follower of Hecate. I've not heard your voice before. You've come at a most interesting time to these lands, follower of the goddess of witches.
As a follower, I can possibly turn down the knowledge of the future.
Of course, and we will come to this soon. But I will be indulged first with your companions, and which gods stand by their sides most prominently. Her hand will sort of like move across you and kind of settle on Basan and say, "You, I would see what god is most interested in you if you are ready."
I would be interested in knowing if a god was interested in me too. And she'll plop down.
She says, "Indulge me with your hand, that I might feel." Yes, perfect. And she'll sort of feel your hand, and then let it go. Go, excellent. Yes, most interesting. Her fingers will sort of dapple over the many little statuette fingers, almost blindly. And eventually she will pick one up, and she will hand it to you, sort of not showing. And as you open the hand, you will see the familiar shield and spear bared woman. You will see Athena, and says, "It is not a well known fact that the lover of Athena is Artemis the hunter. You may be a hunter about you, but you are a seeker of knowledge. And Athena is the great goddess of knowledge. You also are a creature of war. Be blessed, the goddess of wisdom watches over you."
Am I allowed to ask questions?
Of course.
I'm not from here, and I know gods exist, but my people don't worship gods. How does Athena know me? How does that work?
Oh, the gods are flawed, but they all have their different powers. Athena, the goddess of knowledge, with her sullen grey eyes, sees great things, almost omniscient in her knowledge of the world, and she sees you. The gods see much. Maybe not as Apollo, his eyes scanning the day, or under the sun scans to him, but he knows knowledge, and she sees you. There may be another god on your path, but while you are here, in this place, she is interested in your pursuit for knowledge.
And Bisan will give a little bow, and she'll reach into her pocket and say, I don't know how things are done, and so I hope this is not an offense, and she'll leave 5 gold on the table.
You put 5 gold in her coin bowl, and she says, "I am a blind woman. I cannot see what you put in the jar, but what you put in the bowl, put in what it is worth to you, and I will be most thankful."
Bisan doubles it.
She goes, "Oh, thank you." She'll, wealthy travelers from afar, it seems. She almost, and her finger will scan across the group, and her finger will set on Chaplain, and she'll sort of chuckle, and she'll say, "Oh, I can feel your lights from afar. You, let's see, which god watches over you?" And her hand will scan over, and will eventually settle on one, and she'll pick it up and place the stone figurine in your hand. And as she removes it, you see this. He's sort of it's a male, but youthful, has sort of like curly locks, and has a bow across his back, and in his hand is a lyre. And he says, Apollo, the god of the sun and many things, but where his domains align with yours is light, and with all things worth living, music, joy, all of these things are the realm of Apollo, the things that make life worth living. And it seems that you, in fact, have a part of you, a shard of light inside of yourself that Apollo seems to hold in high respect, one that brings bliss and joy to those around you. Be honored, for Apollo is one of the favored of Zeus's children, and a great and worthy god, an all-knowing god, to have his eyes upon you.
Oh, that's great. I'm glad that Apollo likes me. I like him too.
Oh, well, that's great. That's great. It's such a good relationship out of the gate. There is much that Apollo has interest in. Archery, knowledge, music, stories, the sun, many, many things are under his call, but he also is known to be a bit of a trickster, a friend of Hermes, who stole his horses when he was but a mere babe, and the two of them have been friends ever since. It is a forgiving and fun god, and one who matches your light as well.
I'd love to hear that story sometime.
Of course, I would be more than happy to tell the tale. There are many bards who know the tale of Apollo and Hermes. Now, let us see who else. Her hand will go around, and one will land on you, Arendo. She'll go, I see. Very interesting. Very interesting indeed. This is a more difficult one, I admit. Her hand scans across, and scoops up one of the figures and says, but in the end, not all too surprising. Give me your hand. And she will place in your hand this figurine and reveal it. You will see this mature, bearded, mighty, masculine figure wielding a bolt of lightning in his hand. He will say, You are a creature of judgment. You are a creature of justice and a creature of honor. Zeus, the mightiest of all gods, the most powerful and chieftain of all gods, watches your path with excitement, for you have in your hands the path and the ability to change dynasties. For you are mighty, and Zeus approves greatly. For only the mightiest champions have the favor of Zeus. You should be honored that he watches over your path, mighty warrior.
I am. Right. Thank you for that.
Of course. And last but not least, her hand. Yep. Well, me. Because I can't see you gesturing to yourself. And her hand will go over all of the figurines, and she'll say, "Oh, this one is not too difficult at all." And she is going to scoop up one, and in your hand, she's going to remove her hand, and in yours is going to be this, sort of one arm is a little big. One leg is a little short, a big beard, a much older looking god, and wields in his hand a hammer. And will say, it is unsurprising the craftsman is called to by Hephaestus, the lame god of fire and smithing, for it is he who makes sure all the crafts of civilization forward us forth into the future. It is this world of Thessalys which is considered technologically advanced, and who do we have to thank more than Hephaestus, the god of craftsmen and artificers? You should be honored, for he may be the lame god, but he is a god we simply cannot do without.
Thank you. Yeah, it's good to know we have a god in our corner, you know. We seem to have a bit of a pantheon going now. It's interesting.
Indeed. Now, those are for you. Those little statues are for you. Keep them and honor them, for with them you may just feel the god's presence just a little bit closer. And you have now indulged me in wanting to know which gods follow you. And now I would ask what it is that you come to learn and come to know.
So, Arenda will also place 10 gold in the pot. You'll say to her, I struggle with the fact that I am meant to be following 2 different gods, although of 2 different realms. My faith has always been with the Twilight Rider. I'm not sure how to split that.
Oh, sorry, continue.
No, I was just saying, I'm not sure how to even start to split that.
You need not split your faith, sir. You need not split your faith. You come from a faraway place and worship another god. This is not there's no expectation that you change who you are or what you have. But it also does not change that these gods watch over you. You may not worship them, but they watch over you. It is for you to decide what you do with this knowledge. Perhaps you ignore it and move on with your life. Perhaps you cast away the figurine into the newest sewer drain you can find and possibly risk offending the gods. Or perhaps they will not care, they have too much to do. They can be fickle, but they can also be busy. Or maybe you decide to worship these gods alongside your own. Perhaps you decide to replace your faith altogether. It does not matter to me. What matters is what you do.
Well, thank you for your guidance. I'll think upon this. Thank you.
There's much to be gained from the gods. And just because one watches over you means another might not watch over you as well. Now, is there any questions I might answer? Is there anything else you would wish to know before continuing your days?
I just thought to Houghton, this is a good time to ask.
Her? Well, my brother?
Of course.
Surely, I'll trust your judgment. Because, Ed didn't do the cool check, so he just thinks this is just Greek lady in the Greek town. My brother was a bit of this as well. I'm sure, I'm sure you would have gotten a bigger figure or something. But anyways, I'm looking for my brother. We all need to find him, and we need to find him faster than later. And it's been, well, we haven't had any luck. How? So I guess I can just, instead of asking you, find me, my brother, how do you find someone that doesn't want to be found in your past experience?
As a blind woman, I am a bit of an expert on finding things I cannot see. And my path has always been through the gods. So I ask you a question to answer your question. What would mighty Hephaestus do if he were trying to find someone he could not see?
Build something that would let him see it?
Perhaps indeed, mighty artificer. Perhaps Hephaestus has brought you to me to remind you the power of the craft. Perhaps there is an artifice, a device that you can create or possess that might lead you to your goal.
I'll sit on that one for a long time.
The same could be said for all of you. If all of you mean to help this one in the finding of his brother, ask yourselves, what would the god that you hold in your fist do? What would Apollo, the god of the sun, do? What would Hecate, the goddess of crossroads and witchcraft, do? What would mighty Zeus do? And what would Athena, the goddess of knowledge and wisdom, do? For all of them are a path forward. I'm just a blind woman, but I know the gods quite well.
Ethel sort of chuckles a little bit like, well,
She kind of starts reaching around and she finds you, Ethrith, and kind of takes your hand, Ethrith, and she says, "You, follower of Hecate, have a most interesting fate ahead of you in the coming days." She sort of like tilts her head around as if to like listen to see if anyone's walking by. No one is. She kind of leans in closely across her rug and all of her little antiques and such towards you, and she says, "The cult of Hecate is here in Thessalys. They are searching for something. They await your call." She kind of leans back. It's D&D, man. This cult's coming left and right. They're all over the place.
Oh no.
So I sort of misheard that first, but it sounded like the something knows Hecate is here, but I'm not sure who said
The
it.
cult of Hecate is here. They are searching for something. They await your call.
Etherith kind of keeps a straight face. I see. I know how to summon them, I believe. Thank you for your guidance, ma'am.
She sort of rattles her coin bowl a little bit.
I throw in 5 gold.
Thank you. So generous. Such charity. Thank you. Now, if any of you have any other questions, I'll be more than happy to answer. But if your day takes you away from here, I wish you luck, and with the faith and goodwill of the gods, to go steady.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You know, Edo, keep the crew together. We'll look at it first. There's something we need to do here after it. Even if it's for your lady or for other gods. Well, we can do it because I need a little bit more time here. I need some of this technology. We need. And I think two builds in one could go hand in hand here. I think there's gonna be some upgrades to the province to mines that we'll both need, but also perhaps might help me find my brother. I'll have to do more research.
I agree, in fact. I have a plan for tonight. Something that I'll have to do alone, but if I can find other followers, I might be able to find someone, much like how the Church of Saluni helped us back in Realm Space. I might be able to find a philosopher here who can help us pinpoint your brother. But you're right. The technology here is far beyond realm space, and our ship will need to be able to match whoever else is floating around in space around here.
So we should make this our home base, at least temporarily. But for the foreseeable future, it's a good idea, I think.
I think so too.
Chaplain Arendelle,
Yes.
what do you think? What do you think?
Well, it doesn't seem like we have much of a choice but to stay around until we find Ed's brother. Which will then obviously, hopefully, lead us back home at some point. But yes. Whether we can afford to find a place or just use the ship as our home. However comfortable that will be.
I think we can afford it. Financially, I think we can afford it.
Then I think we need to maybe start looking at putting down some roots then.
No. The two builds I have in mind. Something I picked up from what I'm sure you have as well from our battles is our fortification is our Demise's best option. And they can take a lot of hits. But you guys happen to see those lasers. The ones that were with me, which I believe Chaplain Etheriff was there. I don't know why in my head, John, you were, but your character wasn't, so I don't know what that means. We won't even explore that, but I like those lasers. We're gonna need them. It's just the work here feels years away from me, girl. I'm not saying it's daunting. It's just, well, it's new. It's all very new. So the one captain I spoke to was very open about it and very generous with his information. So hopefully that's the continued vibe. But if I can get my hands on some of these schematics and start cooking them up, I'm gonna explore that. There seems to be a connection between their technology and the work of magic of all kinds. So
We need
Well,
something
and
to we need something to counter Mecha Prophet, so that lasers sound good.
lasers do
Mecha
something.
Prophet. Yes.
Mega profit.
Mecha Prophet.
Well, how about this then? See if we can't. Well, let's see if we can't purchase those lasers, and if they're beyond our budget, then we start working. I'd advise perhaps a little bit of caution or being a bit more particular about the jobs we take. I would hate for us to go into any battles out in space where we'll be insufficiently armed. So perhaps keep our activities to solid ground.
I agree. I think that is most probably one of the best suggestions. There most probably will be a bit of space flight, but we need to keep ourselves on the ground. We need to make ourselves a bit of a name for ourselves around here.
Not to continue thinking aloud here, but they've managed to harness magic to become lasers. Well, I wonder if they've been able to track it. And if I can track specific types of magic, I can track my family's magic. Well, seems one way to find a bond. So, but that's all theoretical right now. An assumption.
You are a capable artificer, Ed. Do not put yourself down. You shall be fine.
Right. So, truth be told, this is the beginning of this thought came to me when we were, well, when the water deep under, just I started thinking. So, and above the table. During that time, I was picturing one of those like scuba,
Periscopes.
yeah, because we were basically underwater for that long. So
Blind.
I should create a periscope for the demise. So that seems to be the plan here. We're gonna figure out some lasers and see if I can build a magic periscope.
Oh, if you're gonna do that, we need lights too. It wasn't just that we couldn't see outside the ship; it was that there was no light outside the ship.
Perhaps, I mean, this is just a theoretical thing, but perhaps you could try. Some creatures in this world are capable of seeing through darkness, such as myself. I can see reasonably okay in the dark, but I think what would be interesting is if you were to create this stethoscope, would be that the lenses see through bestowed the viewer the ability to see within darkness. That way, we wouldn't need to expose ourselves with light. We could remain dark beneath the waves and sneak up on anything out there.
Oh, that's a very good point. I should have done this sooner. Usually, when I come up with my ideas, it's more on the fly. But you guys are a creative bunch. I would have very much take any idea. The Fates would have it. We've been able to build our way out of a lot of trouble. So I imagine we'll have to continue doing so.
I suppose the only other way we can go about it is maybe see if there's any small personal ships that we could purchase or do that and then, you know, let Ed do his thing and take it apart and put it back together.
That is also a good point.
Right.
A lot of plans then. Um, did any of you find any jobs yesterday?
Yes, I didn't need to recheck the board, but I believe that there's a couple still going. One's an underwater, one is underground.
Underground? Here on Thessalys?
Yes.
Sounds quite interesting.
It does sound interesting.
Well, it's to do with aberrations. I'd need to go and reread the posting, but yeah, underground rival gangs looking to kill aberrations.
I'd say we're quite well versed in the extermination of aberrants, so that seems right up our alley.
There are 4 random mind flayers that could be anywhere. Arundel, we killed 3 of them and the baby brains. But we lost the 4, I think.
Yes.
A good
I
thing to keep in mind. They actually, is there a check that Basan could make? Like, you're like all the aberrants today is just like all work together. Like, yeah, how likely would it be that like all of a sudden there are 4 mind flayers, they go to ground, and now we're dealing with whatever we thought we were dealing with, and 4 mind flayers. Does she know if there's do they like to fight? Like, what does she know about them?
Make me a history check.
Okay, thank you.
Interesting question.
That is probably not going to get the job done. I want to be honest about that. 13.
Hmm. I think you're aware that no, they don't always get along. Um, your culture kind of comes from a culture of like fuck all aberrations, let's kill them. They're not really trying to understand them culturally. They're just trying to kill them. So there hasn't been a huge section of your teaching about like illicit culture. Do they like art? It's like no, like well, like how do we chop their heads off best? But I will say that there is to some degree like tracking like the enemies of Illithid. So you do know that like when beholders and Illithid come into contact, that doesn't always go well. So no, like all of aberrant kind doesn't get along. But that's what I'll give you for a 10.
No, that's good. No, thank you. Whatever we had when it was on the table, we could potentially have 4 mind flayers in addition.
All the more reason to take on such a job then.
I agree.
Okay.
What
Well,
do you say, Captain? Shall we take on the job and call this a day of preparations?
I agree. Let's take them on. And one other thing to consider, maybe in the back end of it, keep out feelers for anyone looking for work. I think a new crew member, a couple that are locals, gonna be in our favor. There's best way to learn is from the people directly. I always find so. Anyone you find out there that you're friendly with, please, more than welcome.
I have a plan for tonight that might yield us an extra, possibly.
And remember, we have Saeed, who is not local, but will be exceptional at killing aberrants.
Of course.
Oh, I
You
consider
see,
him.
you see across the street from where like the lady was, you see like Saeed like stumble out of this like bordello with like a little drunk.
It's
He's
early,
Uh,
it's early morning. Has he been there all night?
Yes, he has.
many ways to build a
The
reputation.
Githyanki enjoy their enjoyments.
I like it.
Hey, how's it going?
Tom, ever since we had to keep Apox in the other planet, we've needed some grit, So I welcome. I've not gotten to know him too much yet, but safe to say he inspired this idea.
We should take him. We have to take you to the blind woman after we kill the aberrants. For killing
Ah,
aberrants, good morning.
good
Good
morning.
morning to
Good.
you.
I could use some murder. I've fulfilled all my other carnal desires except for murder.
like, oh, that's good.
He's still got like a bottle of like liquor. He's just like Wolverining it a little bit. Yeah, go ahead, Etherith.
Chaplain, we're both seemingly able to quite have good rapport with the philosophers around here. It
Yeah.
might be worth making a few inquiries of our own in terms of acquiring magical resources, I suppose.
Oh, okay. Is there anything in particular?
Whatever spells we can find, I suppose.
Oh,
Scrolls.
okay. Scrolls.
Although I everything's all like places a hand on the compass. Little light on funds.
As am I at the moment. I can't remember what I spent the last of mine on, but I don't have much here.
Perhaps something then for when we get back from the mission. Rendell, you seem to be most familiar with the job listings.
Yeah, well, it's the Mage's War Quest. It's underground, apparently, where these rival gangs are fighting off aberrations. So, I need to check again on the board just to make sure where we're going, and we can get on the way if that's what we need to be doing.
Well, I would say place the formal acceptance of the job, and then we'll make what preparations we can today.
That's fine. As soon as I know, I will square everything away with Bison, and we shall go and do some provisions. We'll go and get some provisions.
Saeed will say, these strange great space people, their god of death is also a god of money. So maybe if we kill people, we make money.
Well, I'm sure there'll be a bit of a bounty for doing this quest, so yes, you're correct. We kill, we get money.
Huzzah!
Yeah, huzzah.
Bison's losing it. Like she's usually so stoic, but underneath her veil, like you see her just constantly snickering.
Yeah. So yeah, and you got your veil, and someone walks by Saeed, he's like, what the fuck? I've never seen it. He's like, what? And they're like, huh? And walk away.
Because I'm picturing it as though Arundel is the total opposite of Saeed.
Yeah. Yeah.
As in the polar opposites in so many ways.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. All right. So we're doing a little preparation to go underground and take out some illithid. All right. What's the prep?
So I'll go and accept the job and find out everything that I can. And then let everybody else know, and then we can plan what we need from there.
Understood. All right. I'll let you know. Okay, so excuse me. Sorry. So yeah, you would go to the person who posted it. It would be probably posted by, what is it? What are these guys called? No. Oh, there they are. Yeah, it was posted by House Shambrath, which is the governing house of this world and is the most powerful house of Great Space. So they're like the government for all intents and purposes. So yeah, it has been personally posted by them. And essentially, they've described that in the Undercity, there has been illithid attacks. It seems that they've been in some kind of altercation with, let's see here. They've been in some altercation with a group known as the Blades of the Shattered Moon, which is a pirate organization. So it's basically like this strange game war. They don't know what's up, but they don't really care. Go deal with it.
Okay.
All right, so I just want to make sure I am understanding this. There's a turf war between pirates and illithid, and we're being told to kill everyone.
Yeah, kind of. Or like figure out what the problem is so that it can go away. But like, I think they're more about like kill the illithid and make sure that whatever's going on stops. So they're like, yeah, we want the pirates dead, but also like they're pirates. Like you're never gonna get rid of pirates. Like we'll deal with the pirates in due time. We just want the violence to stop. And if they got to choose one faction to be killed out, they prefer the alien.
That is fine.
Yeah.
That is.
Yeah, so it's a little bit of like as long as it's within the bounds of the law, by any means necessary, end the turf war, If you got to kill all of them, fantastic. If there's another way, cool too. But you know, deal with it how you see fit. Just make sure it all stops.
So
Is there a bounty on the notice, or
Yes, there would be. There, I would say for this, I would say that there's probably a. What? I got you guys out here. Hang on. There's a. Sorry, I'm figuring it out right now as we're sitting here a little bit. Say there's a 4,000 gold piece reward, as well as basically favor from House Shamrath.
yeah?
in addition, are there any specific people of interest amongst the pirates? Since we'll be down there anyway. It doesn't hurt to know who's who when going into spaces.
Let's see here. They don't know a lot about the actual Blades of the Shattered Moon, but I'm just looking through my notes to see if there's any. No, they would say that the only thing that is known is that like the leader of this pirate consortium is Captain Rockham, and they don't even know if he's on the planet. They're like, yeah, that's like he's like a notorious pirate captain. Captain Rockham.
Okay, this is good.
Yeah, it's very aloof. It's very like they're fighting, go fuck their shit up, or don't. Just make sure it stops. Like they're very like we don't care about the details. Just go deal with it. They haven't put a lot of time or effort into it other than posting a reward. What did I say the reward was? I said 4,000, right?
4,000.
Sweet.
As you're walking out, Bisan says to the captain, so what I'm hearing is we can become pirates now for a little while.
No, Basan, on many occasions, I feel like we always were. But that's neither here nor there.
You guys pirates? You haven't pirated. When have you guys ever pirated anything?
We had
pirate.
the lace space criminal for ages when we rest in peace. I love.
I don't think we had actually stole anything.
Yeah, you guys never actually like committed any pirating. You never did actually.
I mean, I did steal, but by changing someone's memory, but that wasn't really piracy, that was just magical theft.
I mean, to be fair, we did try to steal things on a number of occasions. We were just never successful at it.
The attempt was that.
We were just bad.
It was that.
I've got a plan for a new direction for this campaign.
Suddenly, Bisan needs a tricorn hat. Oh my god, could you imagine? With a big fucking feather.
That's funny, not to get off track, but in Baldur's Gate 3, there's a Githyanki female warrior, and I always put the tricorner hat on her.
Nice.
So, the way to the underground, how would we find that entrance? Do we need to buy maps and stuff, or is that known as to where that is?
The contract giver would say, like, this is just some like no-name agent of House of Wrath, and they're like, there's many entrances to the Undercity. You could, and she'll give you a number of locations, one of which will be the Revelite district, or the Fey Revel. The Fey Revel district has an entrance as well.
Oh, so it's right here. Points at the entrance.
Yeah, it's right over there.
Okay.
Right next to the subway.
Yeah. All right, so then we'll go back and we'll pass all the information on to the crew and see how they want to go about it. and stuff like that.
Cool. Yeah,
I
the
mean,
rest
I'd
of
say,
your crew are out still off being scoundrels.
oh yes, I forgot about that. No, I've got that. I mean, we can always do a bit of a recce mission before we go down. I mean, there is only other one thing I want to do at some point, but that can wait till later on tonight or later on in the day.
I'll say at some point Aryan meets up with you guys, the sort of secondary spelljammer, and he goes, if it's of interest and you're all going to be planetside, I mean, this is a big jump, but I don't know if there's a divide and conquer thing. We want to give the crew something to do. Maybe you could give us like a minor job, and we could borrow the ship for a while and try and get it done. It's a big ask to borrow someone's ship, but just a thought I'd put out there. I mean, they're all just drinking away their coins, so eventually.
Could always send them on the Abyssal quest.
Ooh, Abyssal quest.
That seems quite an ask without any of our main fighting force.
Sounds very dangerous.
Gathering, recovery, point A to point B.
Yes.
I mean, the turtle ship has immense cargo space. We could just try to do some contract-based cargo run.
That's what I was going to suggest. Is there maybe some cargo
that.
transportation they could do? Something safe?
Yeah.
Might be nice after that whole traveling through the astral sea, it might be something to have a little more low risk, I don't know. But you're all do what you want to do.
There's plenty of craftspeople in this city. I can't imagine there's any. There must be chomping at the bit to have someone deliver their goods to the other planets in the system.
Yeah. Here, let's and that can work very well with my future builds. I'm gonna need materials and business partners. Here, gather our best from all the bars. Work is on the table. Coins to be made. We're gonna be here for a while, so spread that word around, and we'll have your work ready.
All right. Well, say the word, and I would be more than happy to track down some basic merchant transport contracts and take care of those in the meantime while you're off doing whatever it is you're doing.
I get some steady income going, and I'll do materials now. So.
All right, I will begin work immediately. If you ever see the ship gone, you know where we are. But I'll be sure that I at least track one of you down and let you know we've returned before setting off on a new contract. Cool. Well, I'm off to work, and Aryan will go try and track down some merchant contracts.
Merchant contracts.
I'll keep that in mind.
Hey, there's business in just owning a ship and letting other people do the work for you, right?
Yeah, that's good.
Piping up like that, that's pretty good.
Well, I suppose if the ship is off on runs and what have you, we're going to need to find somewhere to stay.
Yeah.
At least, if we're not going till the morning.
Sure.
We may as well do it in the favourable district. So we're close.
Give you guys a list of the various inns that you guys have seen on your travels, and you guys can decide where you want to stay. In the common quarter, there is the Hearth and Hammer Tavern, Inn, and Forge. A unique establishment that combines a blacksmithing forge with a cozy inn run by a dwarven couple. The next is called the Mirror of the Mind, and it is located right next to the Lumina Concord, so the Lumina Agora. So right up in there. And it is a oh, no, that is... Never mind. I'll take that back. Sorry. No,
Oh
never
man,
mind.
that
I'll
one
just say
sounded cool.
okay, yeah, it's cool. We're gonna stick with it. Um, let's see. So basically, it is a hole for, um, abstract artistic skill, meditation, and these sort of things. There's a number of magical artifacts that are sort of like on the wall as like memorabilia almost to like look at under glass plating. And yeah, it's like it's sort of like a meditative retreat sort of situation, but it's a tavern in as well.
No.
Yeah. Let's see. There we go. Now there is the Copper Cup, which is a lively tavern and inn where merchants and adventurers alike come to share tales. All the mugs are copper. Keep it at a perfect temperature, but it's a little bit on the lower end in the market plaza. And the last but not least is in the entertainment district, which is right next to the Fey Revel night market, is the Eclipsed Lyre that you went into, Chaplain, where you met whatever his name was. I think it was that.
Oh
like
yeah,
really,
that's
really,
right.
the really really good bard.
Yeah.
I think his name was Odious. His name was Odious. But it is a vibrant tavern with a stage, and it always has live music going on, whether it's soft and simple or loud and eccentric. The walls are decorated with enchanted murals that animate and reflect the musical's tones and rhythms, and drinks are served in glasses that glow softly, their colors matching the musical mood.
Oh, I want
So
to
those
say
are your
that.
options. Okay.
We'll go with the last one, seeing as it's in the Fey Revel or near there.
Isan's going to stay wherever Chaplain stays.
All right.
Let's stay at this one, Basan. It's fun. There's music and art. You like art?
All right. The Eclipsed Lyre it is. And what do you know? Right on the sign is a sun and a moon. And they're like beginning to eclipse. And of course, Chaplin wants to stay there because like Apollo likes him or something. And yeah, you guys can stay there. And as you go in, there's there's like a slow, like it's a little rhythmic. It's like it's interesting, keeps the energy going. It's not like wild, but like there's a nice music going, and it's a very nice little hall. Plenty of lovely drinks and places to stay. We will say it is. I don't have all my stuff in front of me. But we're gonna say it's 5 silver a night.
Okay.
We'll only need one
remember.
night because we don't know how long we're going to be down underground for. It seems like it might be a bigger job than just the one day.
Oh, okay.
Quite possibly. I will be. I'll be late back tonight.
Do you have something you need to do, Ethereth, and will you be okay on your own?
I'll be okay on my own. I need moonlight, and it only appears at night.
That is a fair argument.
This argument is acceptable.
Foxy, you're back.
So he's like, yeah. All right, beautiful. We're gonna throw 3 extra silver, so it's gonna be 8 silver a stay a night because this is like this is a comfortable place. This is good. It's not for the wealthy. It's not for the aristocratic. It's really comfortable.
Okay.
Cool. Yeah, and anyone who wants their meal for the day, it's 5 silver for some food, some really nice food, really good food.
5 silver for some food too. Okay.
Yep, 5 silver for food, 8 silver for stay.
That's fine.
The auto says definitely going to pay for food.
Yeah, the auto gnome is like definitely.
Oh, that's right. I don't need food. I forgot.
Yeah, Chaplain orders food. Is like, wait a second.
That's all right. I'll give it away.
The traveler is paying for food.
Saeed's like eats Chaplin's food.
Hey.
What?
Bisan is having a philosophical thought, and I actually don't know the answer to it. So I don't know if we're about to have a moment of downtime, or if this is something that I could pursue.
Go nuts.
All right.
Yeah, go nuts. Are you gonna say the Spy Kids thing about like how God too fears what he's created or something?
No.
All right, what's going on?
What is the difference between worshiping a god and serving a master for coin, or serving a master through contract? What makes those things different, and what are the different responsibilities of each individual?
Well, I would say the first thing is that
Sorry,
that
Are we drunk at this point?
a person,
we
Because
we can
an,
be.
indi- an individual's motivation for following someone is probably part of the reason. I think that people follow religion usually because of a fondness for a belief system or a set of values or whatever. Whereas, fulfilling a contract is generally not generally not based mostly on um, beliefs or values, but even though those can be a part of the transaction, it's usually done more for material gain, material purpose. You don't necessarily have, I'd say it's a more intimate relationship between a follower and a god than between an employer and a contractor.
I think I'd add on that in the case of maybe following a master or upholding a contract, be those tend to try to level the playing field, to be a contract of mutual gain where both parties are considered to be equals. But the relationship between a follower and their god is that it is not equal by any means. There's a great, great chasm of difference in power between a god and their follower. And so that's where the sort of element of, I suppose, faith comes in. The god doesn't necessarily have to help their follower, but the only thing a follower can really hold against their god is faith itself. Without any faith, a god ceases to be. So there's something of an unspoken contract, but
Flaming skull in the astral sea.
yes.
Saeed goes, ah, you're both so full of shit. You're wrong. It's easy. And he like looks at you. He's like, look at me. Look at me. Ah. And he goes, if you're contracted to someone, you're contracted to someone. There's a contract. You have to do this, have to do that, have to do this, right? It's informed, right? When it's a god, you just do your best, right? You know, you kind of follow them the best you can, but there's no contract, right? So one's like informed, and the other is like, you're doing your best.
And that's not far from the truth. Also, contracts tend to be more explicit in their instructions. Faith tends to be more up for interpretation.
Why does why does a god help?
Because Falaketh believes in our future.
But why?
Well, as you mentioned, the flaming skull in the astral sea, or wherever we were, gods do require, in order to continue existing, gods require a certain amount of belief and a certain amount of faith. So there is some, maybe not gain, but definitely continuation for a god. And gods are essentially composed of their own belief systems, essentially, right? They're based on an idea, on a concept. So in order to keep that concept um alive and working well, and in order to stoke an individual's or a group's faith in it, there has to be every once in a while some sort of sign, some sort of symbol to keep people believing, to reward people for their beliefs.
Indeed, a god that is inactive will risk having their followers turn to someone who will take action. I would consider that to be perhaps one of the most common ways someone might turn their back from, let's say, the lighter gods and turn to those of darker dispositions.
Can
One
I
Because
is
they,
business, one is personal.
that's too.
can I speak a little to this is the Greek pantheon, right? Can I speak a little to that? I'm happy to do a roll for
Yeah, sure. Make a religion check. See how much you understand of the Greek pantheon.
my rolls continue. Natural one.
Oh fuck.
Never mind.
Uh, yikes. Yeah,
I might need to delete my whole D&D Beyond and start over again.
I'd start rolling some physical dice. You're out good. Um, I will say that you're like you know the names of the different gods, but like the deeper theological stuff, like you just you're not there yet. You've only been here a couple days.
I guess I was going for more of a religious history thing that what I was going to say, and I don't have to be able to say this in character now if I failed that, but what I was going to say was that some Greek small civilizations, cities and whatnot, if they felt like their deities hadn't properly protected or looked out for them, would sometimes switch between one and another.
And we'll say that that Chaplin would have an understanding of that from like the Faerun pantheon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where a gnomish god or like a gnomish community or whatever might like not stop venerating that one god, but maybe turn their attention towards another. So
Right.
yeah.
Like an island city state or whatever that maybe worships someone other than Poseidon, or is it Poseidon in Greek, or am I doing Roman?
Yeah,
Anyhow,
Poseidon's
uh
Greek. Yeah.
Poseidon may have worshipped somebody else for a while and then gets hit by a terrible storm or whatever and sees the terrible, um witnesses or experiences the terrible power of the sea and decides, to start worshiping Poseidon instead.
It is also worth saying that for as powerful as the gods are, it is mostly mortals that drive the wheels of life, that dictate how how the universe moves forward. It is, for example, our actions that determine the course of our conflict with the prophet and so on. Hecate certainly provides me with hints and is able to infer some guidance, but the brute of the majority of the work rests on our shoulders. If the gods want to particularly influence or change the world, they must work through us.
I don't really understand that yet.
It's an interesting paradox. Gods are all powerful, almost all powerful beings, and yet they are reliant on their followers to change things and influence the world at large.
And they desire the attention of their followers for
That too.
whatever reason that happens to be. It appears to be an eternal truth.
So then, does your Do they know, like, all everything you do every minute of the day? Is it like a constant presence with you as a worshiper? Or is it only when you talk to them?
That is
I
down to your
suppose
own faith and belief. If you believe that your deity is with you all the time, then they will be with you all the time. If you believe that they are only there when you speak to them, then they will be there when you speak.
They
It is
are
very
powerful.
individual.
They are powerful. It might be within it. It's very plausible that they can observe and watch at all times. Equally, they may be. Their eyes may be elsewhere at moments in time. There's no real way of knowing. You can only sort of hope that they're watching over you.
and we have to remember as well that the minds, as they were, of the gods are unknowable to um, individuals like you and I. We just they don't always behave or react in ways that we might assume, because there might be a greater information, a greater knowledge informing their actions or lack of action. Sometimes we may find ourselves in situations where we believe with all our hearts that our gods should intercede, and yet they seem absent. And maybe they truly are. Maybe they're simply watching and waiting until the appropriate time to make themselves uh, relevant.
And as Chapman said, they are, in a certain manner of speaking, concepts incarnate, which is to say they are inflexible. Their values are fixed. The domains they uphold are just that, the domains they uphold. The nature of a god does not change, or at least I can't think of any instance where it ever has. They're not like mortals who are malleable and able to change within quite quickly within a short space of time. Gods are immortal. They live for as long as they can maintain their faith. They don't need to change.
I think it also comes down to, I don't know, whether you are some sort of cleric, or when you take the druids, their religion is based in nature. A cleric is based on healing and that manner of. So it depends on what you are, what your faith is, and how you conduct yourself within that faith, as to how the god would look upon you, or how you look upon your god reflects in you. You are a warrior, so it makes sense that, as the blind lady said, Athena looks upon you. Strength and honor within that. There are many different blessings that these gods may provide, or none at all. But it's how you worship that god is what you get out of it.
Truthfully, I'm almost, well, perhaps not surprised, but no less impressed that all of our company has the eyes of a god upon them. It's no small feat for something so powerful and divine to take notice of you. I mean, imagine it. There are trillions of people in the universe, and out of all of them, some great being out in the cosmos has taken notice of you. I would take significant pride in that, Basan. You don't necessarily owe them a response or your faith, but I think acknowledging the privilege of being noticed is worth some acknowledgement.
I'll tell you what, as a fun little tidbit, Etherith, Chaplain, and Arendil, you guys can make religion or insight checks. Your choice.
I'll do religion. Let's do this.
Sorry, what was
There we
that?
go.
Religion or insight, your choice.
The
24.
threaten of deletion changed it. 26.
24, 26, fantastic. Arendil, did you want to roll?
18.
18. You all sort of sitting here in this moment realize something important. You're talking about the gods. You know, you had this interaction with this woman on the side of the street, and she told you all these gods are looking out for you. And now here you sit in this bar talking about the gods, debating the gods, considering in your hearts about these different gods. It's not a charlatan act in any measure, but it is certainly a way of spreading faith, is inviting people off the street and telling them God's watching you. That isn't to say that she's lying, but it is certainly a way of spreading the faith.
I think that Etherith, like, as someone who does interact with their god quite regularly, is more inclined to kind of believe it. That, particularly, like, after everything that's happened, that
Yeah, yeah.
that the
But in
party as
the
a whole
interest
has
of
yeah.
yeah, absolutely. But in the interest of like the discussion of like
Yeah.
personal relationships with gods, like none of the three of you, two of you being clerics whose active job is to spread the worship of your god, or at least their domain, and you know you can't help but see that and be like, oh, okay, like respect, you know, like spreading her own faith in her own way, right?
Yeah.
With that, why don't we take a break? We have come upon our halftime, and when we get back, we will speak of preparations and delving into the Undercity.
Etherith does have a plan for the like night.
Yeah, we'll do that first too.
Cool.
Yeah, definitely get to that. Cool. We'll be back soon.
Thank you. I'll say that when they get back.
Muted.
Damn, that sucks. You know what happens. I was saying that uh I wish we had like a Captain Kirk style character if we ever did. But like the old Kirk who talked all weird. Or better yet, Jim Carrey's impersonation of Captain Kirk on Saturday Night Live. That character. That is what we need. It looks like we're trying to find the cult of Hecate on Thessalys. That character would be great. Okay, well, let's get to it. So you guys are settling in for a couple of drinks. Saeed has just been drunk all day, and he will continue to be drunk all day and all night. But Etherith, you require moonlight.
I require moonlight.
All right, let's go find some moonlight. Not too hard to find. This beautiful city seems to harbor excellent natural beauty, including, it seems this evening, a clear sky. And I'm going to see what phase the moon is in tonight. Let's see. Tonight is a crescent waning moon. Or sorry, not waning. No, yeah, that's right. A crescent waning moon tonight.
Yeah, not ideal, but as long as there's some moonlight, it'll do.
Yeah. It's not the best, yeah, agreed, but she's coming through a little bit. So what do you do?
So Ether's gonna sort of head out of this city to kind of, I guess, the outskirts. It's like what does the outskirts of the city look like exactly?
It is surrounded by big, beautiful grasslands, a long, rolling field of grass that would eventually lead into forests and mountainscapes, but it sits right in the middle of a big plain. Not very defensible, admittedly, but very pretty. There's also little fireflies sort of dancing about the tall grass. It's gladiator-esque. It's not wheat, but it's gladiator-esque.
So as Etherith kind of like heads out, gonna have the staff out, the light on, and I'm just trying to see, I need to do this step by step, really.
Yeah.
This may be stretching the like capabilities of hallucinatory terrain.
Yeah, it's fine.
Because what I would like to do is kind of make the area around me almost look like the Astral Sea, or give it, I don't know if that counts as like natural terrain per se.
Gotcha. It's fine. We can stretch it a little bit. We will say that as you focus on the staff and its powers to create this terrain, stemming out from you, the ground around begins to appear to be moats of astral rock, sort of here and there and all about. And the distant mountains and forests seem to all crumble into the sea, which then transforms into this ever-flowing vacuum of silver and purple light.
Ooh. That took 10 minutes to cast. Let's go. And
Yeah,
I'm going
happens over a
to and that's gonna last a whole day. That's 24 hours. So just like this.
Oh, this may have repercussions.
Yeah. Etherith will
cool.
then sort of fly up, activate the wings, fly up. And almost as kind of like, I guess, a display of like magical prowess, like sort of silhouetted against this crescent moon. I don't have much in the way of illusion spells besides that, but I'll just start kind of throwing out, I guess, color sprays. I'm trying to get the attention of the cult of Hecate, basically. And this is my way of sending out the call.
Sending out the call. How long do you wait?
I give it like an hour, maybe a little bit longer. See what comes of this. The fucking guards are like, what the hell are you doing?
Yeah. Hey, you get down from there. You stop that.
You're changing our landscape.
You're ruining our mountainscape. You bastard. Some fucking Monty Python shit.
I was looking at that.
Yeah. All right. Okay, actually. Yeah. I'm gonna roll. We're gonna roll to see who shows up. Because something is showing up. What's the best way to go about this? Yeah, okay. You change everything into sort of the astral plane. The city itself doesn't change. Unless you were, I mean, it's a range of 300. You're going out there. No. Okay.
Yeah. I'm not trying to change this, but the city is technically speaking not natural terrain, so it wouldn't really work anyway.
Absolutely. Good point. Okay. Man, it's tough. It's tough how to handle this. You come a little off guard. Who's gonna show up? Okay. No. I know who's showing up. All right. Give me a minute. Okay, you know what? While I'm figuring it out, I want to ask you, Etherith.
Yeah.
You are creating this terrain. You have created this sort of realm of the astral sea. You are sort of calling upon, you're calling upon the powers of Hecate to draw within her cult. Give me some specifics. What exactly are you hoping for? You're hoping the cult shows up, but in what capacity?
Even just one follower to at least start spreading the word would satisfy me. If any more show up, great. If the whole cult shows up, even better. So long as at least one person takes notice and actually comes, I'm happy. In fact, I'll even be satisfied with, like, let's say someone approaching, but a similar signal of some sort being like appearing somewhere else, an answer.
Understood. Okay. You wait. You wait for a time. You wait for half an hour, in fact. But eventually, you see this figure approach. They are clad in dark robes, long raven black hair, and pale skin. What's interesting is that she has purple eyes that even here in the darkness you can sort of spot. They don't glow, but it's a very clear, vibrant feature of her face. She walks forward and sort of like witnesses the transformation and sees you and is sort of stunned to see you. What do you do?
I sort of bow my head politely and say, "Greetings. You're free to approach. I would be eager to know who it is that approaches. Do you have a name?"
She approaches. She sort of spreads her arms wide and bows. These are black robes she wears. The hood is down. But clearly someone who wishes to be inconspicuous, not unexpected for someone of her worship. she'll say, well, I've seen you in my dreams. Many of us have seen you in our dreams, and I am Varvara, and I am a seer of Hecate, and I'm honored to meet you.
By the serpent's candle. Fucking blade and key. I'm honored to meet you, seer. I am Etherith.
She says, she sort of like looks around, looks back at you, looks at your staff, sort of looks you over and says, I believe we were meant to meet. I pledge myself to help you. I've come here to this planet a stranger, and I think it was come to witness this. I've had much luck finding fellow worshippers until now.
There's a seeress in the market today. Blind. She said the cult was searching for something. Do you know what that might be?
As I said, I've had difficulty finding people aligned between us, but I have heard the call from Hecate as well. She has asked us to seek someone, to seek someone with earthen skin, someone with greater technologies. And many seek him, but it is for us to find him and kill him unless we witness a sign, unless we witness a follower of white light.
It is understandable that my lady would have contingencies. This man of stone, I seek him as well. I am the aura of the prophet's demise. My captain is a man of stone, but the one we seek is his brother. It is imperative that he is kept alive. His brother is the key to an important technology, and reuniting them both is vital.
She looks around and she'll say, I think you then must be the sign. You are the follower of white light. You have skin like moonlight, scales like moonlight. And you want him alive. So all the signs seem to point to it.
Indeed, Hecate has been guiding me, bit by bit, along this road. As a seeress, how far along the path can you see?
Some. I can beseech Hecate for wisdom. I can bind the shadows between her light to my will. I trace the stars to see her will.
Walk with me, and I'll sort of like start making my way back to the city.
And she will follow in tow.
Tomorrow, the crew is going to be heading down into the Undercity to deal with some conflict between pirates and Illithid. I'd rather just exterminate a lot of them and get the job done.
But
this is all just a means of acquiring power for our vessels, such that we might explore great space without being underarmed. But what we do know is that this man of stone is somewhere here on Thessalys.
If I knew of an object that he possessed, if I knew of something that he owned, I might have easier time trying to find him.
Unfortunately, our scrying mirror said much the same, but we have nothing that this man of stone owns. And so we're looking for alternative means.
Well, I stand ready to assist you, Lord Ethereth.
Well, you will accompany us tomorrow. I'll present you to the crew as a new recruit, a kindred companion in my following, and vitally a Cirrus, which is something that we do in fact need. And perhaps by aiding me, Hecate might confer a far more, well, another tangible and vivid vision, such as she gave you of me.
I should be so lucky.
And should we have time to spare between the two of us, I think locating the rest of the cult should be a simple task.
Well, your confidence is inspiring. I'm sure we will be most successful.
Well, it doesn't matter of will, it is a matter of we must. There is a future that Hecate wishes to see, and I will ensure that it does.
Then so shall I. How should I refer to you? I tried out Lord. Didn't feel quite right.
Just Ethereth will be fine. No need for titles. If you
You
must use
sure
a
you do
title,
not want me to refer to you as Master?
not in the presence of the rest of the crew, no.
Oh, so in private then.
By all means.
And that is that decision made. You will note as you're drawing closer, a sort of black raven will fly down, land on her shoulder. She'll say it's her familiar, and
Okay.
and she'll she does seem to be a wizard, and we'll join the crew. Hey, what character art? Picked up some
Divination
character art.
wizard, maybe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. She's a divination wizard. Come on, Spelljammer. All right, I'll put it in the Zoom chat because Facebook doesn't want to agree with me these days. It doesn't like me very much. And her name is Barbara. In the Zoom chat.
Oh, wow.
So when Ethra says when she shows up, you're like, oh, cool.
Kind of edgy.
What was that? What did you say?
Kind of edgy.
Kind of edgy? Yeah, of course, man. It's continue. Yeah, she's got a skull. That's her arcane focus, man. Okay. I would never suggest it's her face. That's very funny. Okay, beautiful. So, is there anything else anyone wants to do tonight? Then rest is had. Oh, was that a hand, Basalt? Nope. Arundel?
Yeah, well, I was gonna go and obviously with talking to the blind woman and what have you, I was more interested in finding out more about Zeus
Sure, she's like
because I wouldn't
packing up
have
her.
known anything before. So,
Yeah, of course.
well,
You find
maybe
her
that.
on the street. It's late. She's like packing up her stuff. The entertainment district has come alive. She's like beginning to head out. You approach
No,
her.
sorry, not her. I mean, as in going to a temple of Zeus
Oh, my
or finding a
apologies.
temple of Zeus.
Understood. Understood. Let us see. Let us see. Okay, you find your. Yeah, you find your way to the temple district, the religious district of the city. And there are many large temples dedicated to a couple of gods. There's definitely a temple to Athena, there's a temple to Apollo, but exuberantly, the largest of all, many marbled pillars, is the great temple of Zeus. You may enter into this place, which sits on a hill. I would say this temple district is actually at the same height, like in district height, as the Spelljammer district. Sort of like across the city, but nonetheless, it sits above the commoners. And you make your way into the temple, and you will see, many priests who are wearing lots and lots of white robes that are sort of filigreed with golds and blues. And you see the mighty marbled statue of the bearded Zeus bearing in his hand a golden lightning bolt. You can approach. Would you like to approach like any old acolyte? There seems to be an older man who's probably the chief amongst them. Would you like to do so?
Yes.
Okay. You approach this sort of older man. He has like a bit of a crooked staff, definitely a symbol of Zeus, with an eagle on it. And you approach, and he says, "Good evening. Welcome to the temple. Who might you be?"
Good evening, sir. My name is Arundel. I had rather, I'd say, intriguing conversation a little earlier with someone who pointed me in the direction of your temple. I am new to this space, this realm, and just wanted to get to know more about Zeus as a god, what he is in favor of.
I would be more than happy to speak to you of our great Lord Zeus. Yes. Well, what can I tell you? Zeus, he is the mightiest of all the gods. He is the cleverest and the master of the universe. It is he who created great space in its entirety. It was one of his great creations. He is the father of many of the gods and the savior of his siblings. He is the mighty lightning bolt in hand, the greatest of all godly weapons, and he has a wisdom that stretches even beyond Athena's, for she was born from his wisdom. He has defeated many enemies, Kronos, the Titan of Time, Typhon, the father of monsters. He did so in single combat, and he is the master of the universe, for he has divided the domains amongst the other Olympians to ensure order is kept in the multiverse. Is there anything specific you'd like to know about mighty Zeus? There is much to speak of.
It was more towards how just of how he treats his champions, how just he is, honorable.
There is few gods more just than Zeus, but he is also a god of two sides. Zeus does have, much like all the other Greek Olympians, he has a temper. He can be brought to anger, which may override his justice. He is a fair and just god unless you invoke his temper. in which case he is wrathful. He is decisive. When he makes his judgment, there is no turning back. When his wrath is incurred, it is incurred to the highest form. He is a decisive God who makes a wise decision and follows through with it, regardless of any who speak to and against him. He is the King of kings and the God of gods, for there is none more just than he.
Well, that sounds like my type of justice. I must admit, I am in line with that sort of thing.
That is very good to hear. I'm sure Zeus is in line with you. But you also speak of his champions, and I should speak to this as well. Zeus is not only the father of the gods, but father to many champions as well. He has given birth to, or he has conceived Heracles, the mightiest of all champions, Perseus, the demigod, many other champions, and all of them, he helps them aspire to greatness. He does not coddle. He is not a god of immense compassion, but he is a god who guides his champions to strength and to greater wit. He does not treat his children with flowery words. He treats them to greatness.
That is good to know.
Yes, he is many of his children have been born out of wedlock, for he is married to Hera, the queen of the gods, and the appetites of Zeus, it seems, extend beyond his wife, and he has come down and blessed many mortal women with children of mighty Olympia, which has angered Hera. So the champions of Zeus have many allies in the gods. Zeus himself, Athena, Apollo, all of the bastard children of Zeus support one another. But Hera's wrath is none one to be diminished. It is mighty and very difficult to overcome, but it can be overcome. For even Heracles performed many labors and eventually earned the trust and friendship of his wife Hera.
I know a little what you're talking about with my family, but that is something different.
Perhaps we have a demigod of Zeus amongst us as we speak.
Well, my faith is staunch with the Twilight Rider from where I am from.
Of course.
There is no harm in paying homage to another.
Of course, Zeus does not look disfavorably upon the worship of other gods, even the worship of Titans. There are those who worship Oceanus, and we here on Thessalys do not enjoy the worship of Titans in our society, but Zeus himself, he lets be what is, and lets mortals carve their own path, and only steps in to guide with his kingly wisdom when it is called for in great circumstance. So, that is all to say, but I am sure mighty Zeus does not disrespect your faith in another god from another plane.
I thank you for speaking to me tonight. I'm just going to go and sit and take in the ambience for a while. And then I'll just move and sit in the temple and just watch what's going on. And
Absolutely. And he does. He invites you to sit for as long as you wish. And he will return to his duties. And you look around and you see many people providing many offerings. You see noblemen come in and offer finery and silks. You see peasants come in and offer the deity coppers what they can. Some come in and offer sacrifice, indeed. One would come to know the words of Zeus, and a bird is taken from its cage, and a pin is plucked into its throat, and it is bled into a bowl. And from that bowl, divine signs of Zeus's will and the other gods' will are told to that person, where it seems that the gods do demand sacrifice for greater wisdoms beyond the mortal kind.
Just a question. Is there, so I don't know how, is there some sort of postings or anything like that of, I don't know, jobs or bounties that would be within there, as in, because he's part of justice and that sort of thing, is there anything that they require doing, or do they need that sort of help? Would I know that, or would I see that about?
Make an investigation check. Good question.
That was a natural one for a 4.
Got it. um, I want to say yes because it's cool. You didn't roll too good, but I want to say yes anyway. Oh man, it's a bad roll. I gotta say no. I want to say yes, but I got you're like looking around, and the temple doesn't have like anything so crass as like a wooden board with papers pinned to it. Unfortunately, is there some other way you'd go about it?
Oh, yes. I mean, I could always ask someone, I suppose. So I'll go and find the same chap that I was speaking to in the first place, and just ask if there is any work within the temple or for the temple.
Absolutely. The high priest looks at you, and he says, "Of course, there's a quest. Of course, there's a quest. There's always a quest." And he says, "Indeed, in Thessalys, it is some ways away from here. It'd be best to take a ship or horses. We have what is known as Mount Koronos. It is a sacred peak where it is said Zeus first set foot upon Thessalys. Pilgrims have been unable to access the mountain as lightning strikes and have been attacking with unnatural precision. And there have been great fogs and mists and clouds that have been obscuring the way, making the traveling perilous for travelers to keep them away. We believe that this is no ordinary storm, that something has angered the king of the gods. If you would be willing to go to this mountain and brave the great peaks and find out what has angered the king of the gods and possibly sate his fury, we would be not only in your debt, but we would owe you greatly. The Church of Zeus, the Temple of Zeus itself, would be in your debt for many great favors. And if you could, of course, achieve this, it would be undoubtedly a sign of divine favor. And, well, that goes a long way in a temple, doesn't it?
That it does. I'll see what I'm able to do. Thank you very much.
Of course, of course. Sweet. Quest received. Ding. A new little exclamation point appears above your head. This quest will be called the Storm Mountain Peak. That is what we will call this quest.
Okay.
Brave the trials of Zeus. All right, fantastic. Is there anything else anyone would like to do this evening before the next day rolls around? Chaplain, I saw a hand.
Yeah, I will. I think Chaplain will spend the evening kind of in the tavern portion of that tavern. Taking in the musical entertainment and kind of watching all, the rest of the patrons make merry, and sort of just sitting in like quiet priestly, well, not quiet necessarily, he'll be laughing and enjoying himself, but with the intention of like being in contemplation of the overlap between Garl Glittergold and Apollo, and where Chaplain kind of fits into that whole thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Trying to figure that all out.
Sort of spiritual meditation, I guess, in Chaplin's lively sort of way.
Absolutely. Why don't we call it a religion check as you sort of contemplate in as you indulge yourself in the trickery of Gnarl Glitter Gold for the sake of joy and a good laugh. We'll see what you learn.
Dirty 20.
30-20. Um, yeah, you would learn that like you would contemplate, and Apollo's a very different god than Gnarl Glitter Gold. Um, maybe, and you've heard about Pan. You've heard about Hermes now, who is this sort of trickster, thieving
Yeah.
god of travel and transport, who is worshipped by many spelljammers out here. And you would know that they are absolutely separate entities, Snow Glitter Gold and these Olympian gods. And much as the wise blind woman said, to worship one is not to disrespect the other.
Yeah.
Uh, and maybe you contemplate to yourself that like yeah, Apollo is god of like civilization, of music and art and poetry and all of these things that like the city folk indulge in and learn from. But then there's the trickstery god Hermes, the thief. There's Pan, the reveler. There's Dionysus, the mad god of wine. And there are many gods that maybe you might fit into, but just because that they might fit into you doesn't mean that you need to worship them. Nar Glitter Gold has been your patron god for a long time.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I wouldn't stray from that. All right, yeah. Just trying to, I guess, reaffirm my faith in revelry.
Yeah, and I think, yeah, you revel, and many people call out many different gods, and none of them quite probably fit your designs quite as well as Nar Glitter Gold.
Sure.
Maybe Pan would be the closest, but his forms of revels, there's a sort of almost like animalistic uh, savagery to
Right.
it a little bit. There's something a little bit untamed to it, something that might even be in bad taste for some people. And it doesn't quite fit because Noah Glitter Gold is this just sort of like mirthful guy. And yeah,
Right.
Reaffirm your faith.
All right.
Excellent. Excellent. Yeah. All right. If there's nothing else, all of you take some time. Apparently, all of you taking time this evening to deal with faith. You have received these signs from this blind prophetess, and makes you all think. But sure enough, you all find your ways to bed. You have a nice meal in your stomach, and you wake up with a long rest, happily so, to a reawakened Thessalys. What's the plan? You got a lot on your plate. I think we'll say as you're all coming together, um, Arendelle, you can absolutely share what you found out if you wish. And as we're getting to that, you will notice Atherith approach with this dark, stormy, witchy woman, sort of following behind him, almost apprentice-like. Her name's Destiny.
Well, as I sort of promised, I suppose, I have brought with us someone who might be able to help us. This is Vivara. She's a Cirrus.
She sort of bows lowly and says, "In order to meet you all, companions of Athereth."
Hello. I'm Arendelle. How is it you come to know Etherith?
She sort of looks at you, Athereth.
You can probably still see it outside, actually, if you look towards the city outskirts. I did a little bit of magic, sort of set out a signal, shall we say, a call for attention from any kindred followers of Hecate, and Navarra answered.
I suppose it's good to have some company within your faith. And that will
Indeed.
be too much of an issue, I hope.
She is, as a fellow follower, as committed to my duty as I am, so she'll be nothing but endlessly helpful, I imagine.
My presence here is only to serve. Ethrith. I promise not to get in the way.
Oh no, that is not what I meant. It was just we were looking for someone that has the ability to help. That was all. If you fit that bill, then fair enough.
I have many abilities and skills you might find useful. Arendil.
Then we shall see.
Any news since yesterday?
Well, I may have stumbled across another quest.
Oh,
More on the side of a religious one. Apparently, there is a mighty storm on Mount Kronos, which I've been asked to go and have a look at. But we will need the ship. We will need most probably a full crew. It does seem rather dangerous. The
indeed.
storm seems to be more guided than something natural.
How intriguing. Is everyone set and ready to take a little trip down underground?
I believe we are ready.
Yeah, I think I'm ready. Oh, I remembered what I spent all my money on. Diamonds.
Inexplicably, Bisan is in a tricorn hat.
Oh,
Saeed's like looking at you. There's something different about you. Can't put my finger on it. Nah. He's like, look, he's like, one of you has changed your hairstyle. I think
maybe we should find you a rapier, Bason, instead of your sword. It would fit the look.
My sword's cooler than a rapier, so
I'm not
I will
saying it's not. I'm
be a
just on about the aesthetics.
I will be a pirate with a light sword. But the hair is down and kind of braided in a very Jack Sparrow kind of way.
Saeed's like, ugh, yeah, whatever. Get fucking you. Incredible. All right, heading to the Undercity today, huh?
Yeah.
I do like
Do it.
sort of like head over to Var and say, any particular enlightening dreams last night?
The only enlightenment that I received last night was your spectacle.
Well,
But I would impart a gift upon this group if they might wish it. A way that our dreams may be connected, that we all communicate. For a time. And she will say arcane word, a very spooky arcane word, and twist her fingers around. And in that moment, indeed, you feel your minds all sort of linked down a crossroads where you might all communicate with one another as she casts Rary's telepathic bond, and you are all connected telepathically for the next hour.
interesting.
Oh, hey, this is fun.
All
Son,
right.
what am I thinking?
Basan, you have no idea because
Uh, you're thinking, what are you thinking?
He chuckles very happily at that, Ezra. Thank you.
yeah. Make your way out of the bar. Make your way down uh, the Fey Revels Street, which is pretty much emptied out, and make your way down a wide set of stairs, probably like a 20-foot wide set of stairs of stone. You make your way down, down, down you go, into the bones of the earth, and you will find, indeed, there is an undercity. It is not thriving. You like the city's been so pristine to this point, marble palaces and agoras and entertainment and amphitheaters. It's been incredible. And you finally find out where the poor people are. Here in the Undercity, you do see many structures of a similar but cheaper design made from the stones in the woods that are found underneath, or woods have been brought in. But so it's mostly of stone and mud houses and sort of like shale, uh, what have you. And the city is largely lit by firelights that sort of makes its way all through the interior of the cavern. And it just looks like it's not divided up like upstairs where there's like divided districts, just like an endless expanse of hovels and homes stacked on top of each other. The only thing that sort of stands taller over everything is a large, crudely stone structure made of Hades, the god of the underworld, bearing his bident and helm of shadow above all the people below. The god of death watches over. God of the dead, excuse me, there is a difference.
And so, I believe my observations on the first day are confirmed. Such was the city above, so pristine it could only hide something so destitute.
Do you think they choose to live this way, or do you think they don't have a choice?
I don't think anybody chooses to live this way, Chaplain. I think it's either unfortunate or they've been sent here out the way so that the various cities folk do not see them.
Oh, well, that's not very fun.
No.
Well, be alert. And Rendell, do you have perhaps, did they say exactly where this conflict of pirates and Illithid was centered?
But I believe if we maybe go in and ask around a few places or just even find out where the pirates are, then we shall find where they all are.
I looked at Basan then, Trical hat and all. Basan, would you perhaps want to take the... I get the sense you should take the lead on this one.
No, I just like the hat. Talk to people. I don't talk to people, Ethereth. That's not what I do. Remember when the captain died and I talked to the ship and it was bad?
I do recall.
I recall that.
I would have wanted to deprive you of the opportunity to play at piracy.
I just like the hat. Puppies.
So,
Very well.
and I'll go up front and I'll start moving and I'll just ask the first, I don't know, trader or something that we find within there. Um,
All right, you walk up to, kind of the first person who looks like they might trade and do some work. And um, let's see who you run into here. There we go. Um, there we go. You walk over to this one guy who's like working at a little bit of a stall. He seems to be like working away like mortar pestle style. You sort of get his attention, and the person turns around, and you see uh, uh, Themius, the potion seller. Turn around. He goes, "Yeah, look who's back! What are you doing down here, you crazy sons of bitches? Eh? You for more potions? You like it?
oh,
Oh,
we're just here for a bit of information. And I'll
Okay, all right."
put a gold piece down, but I won't give him it. I'll just make sure he sees it, and it's
He
on
reaches
like the
for it.
table with my hand in.
Yeah, you reaches for it, pull it back. He's like,
Yeah.
"Oh, okay. What do you want to know, my friend? Yes."
So we are looking for hmm, basically the leaders of the Blades of the Shattered Moon. Where are they?
Oh, it is me. I am the leader of the Shadow.
Well,
Oh, okay. You got me. You got me. I'm just playing. No, I'm no pirate. I make the potions. But yeah, they've been running around here like crazy, man. They've been doing all kinds of shit. They've been blowing shit up. Believe it or not, there's one district, there's one neighborhood got there was a big scrap just last night. Got into all kinds of fights, and there was some like magic going on too, man. I didn't know they did magic.
okay. Well, we've been sent down here to help them, so we need to know where they are.
Okay. Listen, people down here don't like the topsiders, but you can always rely on your good friend Phineas. Yes. No, I tell you. It is Rockwell Street. Yes, you have to go down there, and he'll give you directions.
Okay.
Goes, yeah, you go there, man. People still picking up the rubble.
Thank you for this. And I'll
Yeah.
put a gold piece down and
All right, cool. And hey, what potions? I got potions. I hook you up.
well, I don't, but some of the other party might.
All right. I have a very special stock, my friends. You come back if you want more potions. And you guys can take off if you wish. Cool. You guys heading over there? The street?
Yeah.
Yep. Unless
Okay.
anybody else wants to take some potions.
What about you, my pirating
Good.
friend? You want some? Yeah? Something to make your hair grow long? I have one. I have a potion of beard grow.
I do not want a beard.
Okay, all right, fine. You let me know. Some races have trouble growing beard. Dwarves, it grows like the barley in the summer, but elves can't grow beard very well. Need my help, huh?
It looks like it would itch. I do not want
Mm,
my face to itch.
but look very good in piratey, huh? All right, it's fine. I leave you be. And yeah, you guys can continue on. Okay. You make your way through the city streets. Let's see if you see anything particularly disturbing. Nope, you don't. You walk through, and yeah, it's not good. Like there are some streets that are worse than others. Some streets are just squalor, where there aren't even structures to live in. It's just like garbage, and like it's fucking LA in some of these back streets. But most people seem to at least have a roof above their head, whether they need it or not in the Undercity. There is plenty of like water flow down here, as like water drips from the ceiling down into like makeshift rivers that lead to like a large basin of water at the base of the giant statue. So they've done their best to kind of create a bit of a hydroponic system, a little, not hydroponic, but a water system in this.
Irrigation.
Thank you very much. An irrigation system. But there are some places that do struggle where water is like pouring into the middle of like a house or even a full neighborhood where they've all vacated. It's very unsteady, but they do their best. You make your way down to the side street and you turn the corner. You see dead people. There's a lot of people laying around. There's maybe like, oh, I'll roll for it. Let's see. You see about three bodies still remaining in the street. Nobody's tending to them or doing anything about them. They're just kind of laying there. There's enough blood and disaster here that you think it was a larger deal than just these three people very clearly, like enough to make this entire neighborhood erupt into some kind of battle. But only these three bodies remain, and they just are been left in the street to rot. They
Are
look.
they all the way dead?
You want to go find out?
Yeah.
That's the check.
14.
14. They are all the way dead. They have passed on to the next life.
Okay. Well, that's
Uh,
unfortunate.
Var, are you perhaps able to commune with the fallen?
She says, "No, I am not in the service of Hades. I am in the service of Hecate. So unfortunately not. If they were alive, I could find out what secrets they hold, but they are not, unfortunately."
Pity. Is there anything like what are the other bodies like wearing anything particularly distinctive?
Um, let's find out. Yes, they are wearing distinctive stuff. Two of them are dressed kind of spelljammery. It is worth noting that they've been picked over. Like
Yeah.
nothing's left. Whoever lives down here came in and scavenged everything off these bodies, so they're just kind of left with tattered pieces of clothes at this point. But two of them are pretty heavily tattooed, like you would see on sailors, spelljammer, so on and so forth. They do have one tattoo in common, which is of like a crescent moon, and then the center of where the rest of the full moon should be is like shattered rock.
Mm.
So two of them have that. One is actually on the older side and has like a beard, like a bit of a beard. So he's a bit of an older guy and doesn't look physically capable, or didn't look physically capable.
What a distasteful symbol.
You'll see. Uh, I'm still getting used to the name of my own NPC. Varvara will take coppers out of her purse and she will put them in their mouths. Three of them.
What is the symbol?
The symbol was of a crescent moon with the remaining moon sort of
I'm
cracking.
sorry. To Ethereth, they said it was distasteful. Why?
Um.
What is it of?
Oh. Hecate's a moon goddess.
I understand now. Thank you.
Okay, so is there anybody else walking around or anything like that that has that tattoo visible or anything like that?
Maybe a perception check. There are people walking down the street. Like the street hasn't been abandoned. Like people are just kind of like, until you got here, frankly, there's like one or two people who actually stepped over the corpses on their way to wherever they're going. And some people just walk by the cities, like the streets itself.
18?
So, 18. You look around. Uh, no, I don't think you find anybody here right now who has a similar mark or even a large amount of tattoos.
Is there anything like residential or commercial that kind of overlooks this place that somebody might have been a witness to what went on?
Sorry, say that again.
I said, is there anything like residential or commercial that kind of looks out on this particular section of street where somebody may have witnessed what went on?
Yeah, it's largely residential. There's like the houses are stacked on top, kind of like in some cities in Brazil. You know when they have like the
Mhm.
sheet metal houses, they're all like yeah. It's like that, except it's all like stone and clay. So yeah, there's like probably a dozen or two different houses that look out onto the street.
Well, we could knock on the door with the most direct view and see if anybody happened to witness what went on here.
By all means, I would. I kind of look. I'm not exactly proficient in this, but I'd like to. I'm noticing there's no aberrant corpses, so I guess I want to look around to see if there's like any, I don't know, traces left behind, like tracks or otherwise, of just where they might have gone.
Maybe a survival check.
Yeah,
This will be a pretty high DC because there's a
yeah,
lot of traffic down the street.
yeah. Actually, wow, 22.
Hey, that's really good. Um, you're looking around. You're like, okay, I'm not going to find anything on the street. Like, obviously, because there's
Mm,
people walking around. Tracks probably already been mixed up. But you do see, um, you do find a couple of places where there are like little cracks between the buildings where you do find footsteps that are a little older, maybe a day old, sort of making their way down the back alleys, having like fled the scene.
mm. Anything that's like looks distinctly not human, I guess.
Nothing that looks distinctly non-human. No, everything seems to be in humanoid-esque shoes or if barefoot.
Okay.
No signs of, no obvious signs of.
Hmm. Let's try and knock on doors then.
Okay,
I like that one.
you pick that one.
Yeah.
Open the door. This man goes, "Oh, you!" Opens the door and he goes, looks at you. Chaplain goes, "Whoa!" And he's like looking at you as you're like a shiny gold and silver. I don't know. He goes, "Oh, well, what you want?"
Hi there. Um, see those people over there? The people that are have passed on?
Huh? Oh yeah, dead people, right? Well, what?
Did you happen to see how those particular people ended up that way?
Yeah, they, yeah, they were in a big fight and then they died.
Yeah, who are they fighting with? Just other people like them?
There were these fancy pants people from the upper city. Like looks around at all of you and looks at Ethan and goes, "Looks kind of like him, but less scales. You know, all this scrolls and high talking, better than you." Bleh.
Oh, I see.
Well, fuck you
Um,
too.
Goes, I don't need any flack from the top side. It may not be much of a house, but it's still my house.
all right. Well, did you aside from that, did you see anything else unusual, or do you have any idea where these fellows might have gone from here?
Make a persuasion check.
Guidance.
Okay.
Guidance.
Guidance, nice D4.
Oh, thanks. Oh, this is gonna be good. I am very persuasive right now.
You are.
Uh, oh yeah. That's gonna be a fat 27, my friend.
27. That's good. He goes, oh, all right. Yeah, I'll help you, little golden man. Sure. Uh, yeah, they went, so here I was last night having a little drink after a hard day's work. And you hear some feminine voice from inside the house goes, "You work? Are you kidding me?" And he goes, "Shut up. Anyway, I was having a nice drink after a hard day's work, and suddenly there was all kinds of flashing lights from outside the window. So naturally, I went to investigate, being a member of, a staunch member of the community. She goes, "Who are you talking about? You?" He goes, "You shut up." And he goes, "Anyway," and he goes, "Yeah, I wanted to take a look, and there were them old men, some old men. There was like this one beardy guy, and oh, that's him over there," and points to the dead guy. He goes, "But he was all decked out, you know." And then all them pirates came in with swords, and tattoos, and all this, all their booty and such. And there was a big old fight, and a couple of them died. See, as you can see, and they managed to get the old guy. They took something off him. They ran down the alley as quick as can be, and then other people in the neighborhood or passerbyers came and scavenged the corpses. And you hear the feminine woman goes, "You law, you did it too." And he goes, "That's you be quiet, woman." He goes, "Anyway, that's all I know."
Could we might we be able to see anything that you picked up?
I didn't. Don't listen to her. I didn't pick up nothing.
Is he like?
Yeah, yeah, obviously.
Yeah. All right, let me charm person this filler.
Yeah, we love a good charm person. He goes, "My, what spectacular golden fins you have coming off your head, sir."
Thank you. You've been incredibly helpful so far. I was wondering if you could just show us all the things that you took from the bodies that were out here after the other fellows left.
Make me a persuasion check at advantage because we've got him charmed real good.
That's going to be an 18.
He goes, "All right, you come in then, little expensive man," and has you come on into his little hovel. It's not much. It's literally like 3 rooms.
Can you guys come along too so he doesn't steal me?
Well, me.
All right.
Steal?
Nice house you have here.
Bisan goes in.
Oh, you're worried they're going to steal you, little expensive man.
I mean, and then you see his wife come out, and she's in tattered, whatever, trying to cook food out of whatever there is, and she goes, "You're letting mortgage." Oh, she sees you, chap, and goes, "Oh my, what? Who's your friend?" And he goes, "Oh, this is my friend." And he goes, "Oh, yeah." He goes,
Chaplain. Hi, I'm Chaplain.
"Yeah, look at all that. Oh, well, you're so well dressed. And well, you all take a seat and I'll fix you something up." And you guys all sit around with like shitty, like basically like, let's be honest, they're like plastic stools. Like they're fucking.
Yeah, all like uncomfortable on the furniture.
Yeah, you're all uncomfortable. Like they don't have much. It's all tattered, beat up, like slummy shit. And he's like, yeah. You just come I'll go get the stuff from the room. I'll be right
All
back.
right, thank you.
And he literally comes back 5 seconds later because it's just the next room over, and his room is tiny. His house is tiny, and he drags in this like this dirty blanket on the floor, and you hear ding, 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 from inside. And he kind of opens up the blanket, and you'll see that there's like a scimitar essentially, like a cutlass. There is a flintlock pistol, and and there's a and there is a little, and there's a couple of like loose coins sort of scattered amongst it, like coppers and silvers. He's like, "I didn't get any gold, but I got the sword. Isn't it a nice sword? Look at it. And I don't know what this is." And he picks up the pistol the wrong way. He goes, I don't really know what this is supposed to be, but yeah, it looks real cool. He's like looking it around. He's like, "Yeah, it looks real nice."
Bisan actually puts her hand out and says, I know about that weapon. Would you like me to show you?
Oh, it's mine.
I don't need to take the weapon, but you're going to blow your hand off.
No, you're gonna try and take it. That's why you want in here. You want to take all my shit. I
Well, she's
stole it
not,
fair and square.
she's not gonna take it from you. She just wants to show you how it works. It's
Okay,
fine.
here
It'll
you
be
go.
fine.
Yeah, whatever. Here you go. Whatever you want. And you give it to you.
Is it it's a musket kind of deal?
It's a flintlock pistol. It's like a pirate pistol. Yeah.
So there's no safety on it. There's I don't need to check to see if it's like armed or such.
Are you proficient with firearms?
No, but I've handled them some from the GIF.
Oh, that's right.
She has safety to weapon before. That's literally all she's doing is making sure it's not going to blow his head off.
Yeah, you're good. Yeah, you check it. It's fully fucking loaded, and yeah, it's loaded. It is cocked. Like if he hit the trigger the wrong way, he would have shot himself. Absolutely. Very hard to shoot yourself with a flintlock pistol, but he would have achieved it.
She's going to safety the weapon.
You do you like fully like unload the bullet and everything, and like scoop out the gunpowder and everything.
And as she
Just
does
spit
it,
on-
and as she
spit
does
on the
it,
powder.
she'll explain what everything is and how to use it to the best of her ability. But she says that way you don't blow your hand or your head when you.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you if like you can unload. It's sort of like the Jack Sparrow situation where it's like I've only got one shot. Like it's a pistol with one shot in it. Like, do you take the shot out? Because like it can be safety without taking the shot out.
Oh, okay. If she can safety it that way, then she'll safety it that way. But she's
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. So you just
Okay.
uncock it basically. You just
Yeah.
pull the lever back and you explain it. And he goes, "Oh, well, well, all right. Thank you. Appreciate it."
You
I rolled to see if he shot himself. you, he almost shot himself right in front of all of you.
that would have been unfortunate. Then I would have had to charm a second person.
What about a waste of spell slots?
Do you guys want to? Can we take a look at that scimitar real quick? See if there's any kind of markings or anything like that on it.
As long as I get it back after.
Yeah, absolutely. We're not here to take anything from you.
All right, this thing's probably worth gold. And he probably
Probably.
hand it to you. I mean, look at it.
I'll hand it to anybody want to take a look at it?
Yeah, I can. I'll proficient in martial weapons and stuff. So
Yeah,
All
it's a nice scimitar. Like it's not like you don't know if it's like secondhand or anything, but it's seen combat. Obviously, it's got a little blood on it, a little dried blood on it.
is
But
there any
it's a fine
markings on it at all?
There are some notches on the hilt. You expect sort of like how many people I've killed, right? But it doesn't say like there's no identifying markers as far as you can tell. There's nothing that's like this is the property of the pirate George. Like it doesn't say anything.
Yeah.
Like that, yeah, but there is certainly notches on the back of the hilt.
The Dread Pirate Roberts.
Yeah. This is the property of the Dread Pirate Roberts. Should you find, please return.
Well, there's no markings of such of anything. Just maybe a couple of notches for killing, but well, how many they've killed. But other than that, nothing that we're going to glean any information from.
All right. Does anybody else have any other questions or anything they want to look at in here, or do we move on?
The lady comes out with like it's like porridge. It's like some shitty like porridge you find better in prison. And she's like, "Here you go, lunch for you all."
Wow, it looks so appetizing, but I just ate. I couldn't possibly.
No, you mustn't embarrass me in my own home. You must have a little bit, please.
What's happening? Maybe you would like to try some.
Yeah, sure. He'll break off a little piece and like push it against his little mouth slit. He doesn't even have a movable mandible, remember? So he just has a
Yeah.
little mouse slit.
Whenever
Um,
Chaplin eats, it's like Jim Carrey and the Grinch, and it just kind of bashes against his face a little bit.
like Cookie Monster.
Yeah, yeah. Like Cookie Monster.
Nom, 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 nom.
Nom, 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 nom.
Um, and yeah, he'll just be like, "Oh yeah, that was great." Oh, and I'll make his eyes flash like green or something, right? I use thaumaturgy to do that.
Yeah. Okay.
Um, yeah, that was fantastic. Thank you very much. You've both been wonderful hosts. Here, let me help you pack your stuff back up, and I'll help him put it back in his little bag, and I'll say, or in his little blanket. All right, now, do me a favor, and after this, I want you to remember, don't hurt anyone with those things. Sell them for some gold if you can, and you know, use it to treat yourselves a little bit. Thank you.
The wife says, "Listen to the shiny man. You don't be going becoming a mercenary." And he goes, "Come on, but I got a sword. This is like the beginning of every adventure story. I got a sword and a gun."
Oh, no, no. You want to make it the beginning of a different story. Use it to buy maybe an instrument. Learn how to, buy an instrument, learn how to play something, make some beautiful music, and make a living that way, maybe.
All right, maybe we'll see. Yes, Visan?
It's a scimitar.
It's a scimitar, yeah.
I happen to be in the market for a scimitar if you were looking to sell a scimitar, and again, if you wanted to.
Make a persuasion check.
Guidance.
That's good, because this is not her jam. Although today it's not too bad. It's not great. It's not
I
bad.
was going to offer myself to buy them just for the sake of
Just to
giving
get him
them
out of
some
his
gold and
hands.
getting out of the way, because that's going to end terrible.
That is a 13 total.
13 total.
Off to 12.
Goes, oh. The wife's like, "Oh, good. This is an excellent day." And he goes, "My scimitar. I'm the one who stole it. I decided I was done with it. I want to have a scimitar because we need to protect ourselves, right? We need some self-defense."
Arendelle will just take out the 5 gold pieces.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna roll a little intelligence check to see if they know if I'm completely cheaping them on it. Yeah, the wife's like, "Oh, God." And he goes, that's bullshit for a scimitar and a gun. You're trying to skip me."
How much do you want for it both?
He goes, well, given the craftsmanship and the amount of people who died by it, and the fact that the gun's working and all, I think at least 100 gold.
Are you kidding?
Visan actually is going to pull her sword and just kind of turn it on and say, "Easy."
He offers the price and you pull out a fucking lightsaber.
She's like, "Easy, easy." The point is, and she puts it up. I know a thing or two about what weapons are worth, and it's not worth that much. And she puts it back.
Make an intimidation check.
Even Etherith is like kind of like eyes open, like holy shit.
Yeah.
May I use my strength modifier since I am physically here?
I'm gonna say no because this wasn't a display of strength. This was a display of like the weaponry and like your use of it, kind of things. I don't know if this is like your physical imposing. It's just like you pulled a weapon on them, which is different. And to be clear, a flintlock pistol's worth 250 gold pieces. Like he's totally.
All right.
Like, this is a wicked low ball. Like
okay. No, that's fine. It's a 10.
That's a 10. He
Yeah.
goes, you offered 10 gold. He goes, all right, fine, just take it. Just take it and go.
So I'll give them that and collect them both.
Yeah, you collect them both, leave them 10 gold. Take off.
It's more than what they would ever have anyway, so yeah.
The son will actually uh she will leave more.
How much more?
I think she's gonna leave 40 more.
Nice, not bad. Um, yeah, and they just kind of like wait for you guys to leave as they were threatened as they felt threatened by violence. And you guys make out like fucking bandits as you make out with 275 gold pieces worth of weaponry for like 50 gold, which
50
is
gold.
a pretty impressive profit.
I I have to say, Bisan, I may have underestimated you. That was some cold ass shit. I, that was wow. You
Saeed was
heard
like, yes, yes, in his Yankee way.
I, I I was just bargaining. I didn't actually mean to threaten him. I'm so confused. Was
you
that
heard that
really? She's gonna look at Saeed and say, "Was I really that threatening?"
Yes,
you
yes.
you heard the price.
Good.
And you drew your weapon without a second thought. I'm impressed.
It was sudden and ferocious.
In her defense, she is Gith Yankee, or she is Gith. They don't. They're always intimidating, whether they mean to be or not.
Yeah, with the fucking serrated teeth and everything. Serrated teeth alien draws a lightsaber immediately. He literally was like 100 gold, and you were like, they're like, yeah, they definitely thought they offended you with their offer, and you were going to kill them for it.
No, no, that's not what she meant at all. But it's also kind of cute that she just didn't get it. She didn't really know what she was doing.
It worked out in the end. Like, you got the price you wanted.
Well, an unexpected gain, I suppose.
I didn't want him to kill himself with the pistol. It would have angered his wife, and she's loud.
Whatever helps you sleep at night. I did
You said
see.
you've seen some tracks, Efforth.
I did. There's something older going through the alley over there. I don't know if that's our exact culprits, but it might be worth following if we have nothing else to go on.
Sure. I mean, it sounds like two different groups of people left, right? The one that got away with the item and
Hmm.
the victims, I suppose.
Yes.
I think the item is the way to follow. Let's go that way.
By all means.
And I'll head the group, obviously, with my passive perception of 22, looking around, seeing if we can see anything.
Yeah. And so you do. Let's see here. I'm just checking something. So you guys are following the tracks through the back alleys. Mm, okay, you're following the tracks. You're going through all of the alleys, through all like the garbage and broken down mechanics. It gives like Star Wars a little bit. You know how like a huge thing in the early Star Wars movies was like all the like broken down mechanical garbage kind of everywhere. It
Yeah.
gives that a lot. Like, because this is a very technologically advanced place. There's a lot of busted up garbage, old machinery that doesn't work anymore. And you make your way through these alleys. You follow for quite a bit, but Ethrid's on the trail. And eventually you are going to sort of make your way down this one alley and you're going to see out into the street. And across the street, you're going to see this cantina. And it's called The Void Ward Temple is what it's called. And yeah, it's this like dusty cantina where people kind of walk by it. There's some people who are sitting on this like little porch that's built into it. It's one of the larger building structures, like singular building structures in the entire Undercity. Um, so yeah, that's where all the tracks seem to lead. Like they disappear on the street, but they're like pointed at it, and it's a little bit too. It makes a little too much sense for you not to ignore it, or for you to ignore it. Excuse me. Would you wish to? What do you want to do?
What do you all think? Worth
If the
asking around.
tracks lead in there, maybe we should just go in.
Let's give this a shot.
Hey. Passive perceptions.
Wow. 13.
14.
14.
14.
22.
I'll tell you, and it makes sense because you have the highest one anyway. But Arendelle, you did say you were keeping an eye out while we were going through this. And there's a I think it's like a house ruling for what was it? Adventure League, where in order to use your passive, you have to be explicitly like keeping an eye out. So it works perfectly. So Arendelle, as everybody's like making their way across the street, they're gonna go into this Void Ward temple. You are keeping a sharp eye out, and you look into the alley behind you guys, and realize that you are maybe being followed. Because you see a number of folks in that alley. Actually, you only see like 2 individuals in that alley who are following you. And as for their appearance, they are dressed in dark robes, but they have like you kind of catch under the robes. They seem to have like that, like a sash of like azure blue, just sort of like peeking out from under their robes, and they're kind of talking to each other. And as you sort of see them, they see you, and they kind of disappear down the alley.
I'll pass it on to the group. Do you want to follow these guys or?
Blue. Kind of glance at Vivara. And then suppose you think, maybe.
You gave the description. She says, I know that the main military force behind House Shambrath is known as the Azure Vanguard. I've never seen any of them before, but if it was Blue Sash, maybe I could understand why they might be interested in what's going on down here. We could follow them. I could track them with a spell.
Well, the gentleman in the house there did say that they seem to have come from up top, the attackers, so maybe it's worth trailing.
Why don't you all go into this cantina place, and I can follow them to wherever they're going and report back. I will keep out of sight. They will never know I followed.
Good idea. And stay in communication.
I shall. Yes, Basal.
Would like to step into some place that's kind of dark and unnoticed and take the minute to cast Gift of Alacrity.
Okay, sure. Yeah, you cast Gift of Alacrity. No problem there.
Thank you.
And with another spell cast from your new minion, Ethrith, she sort of casts a spell, and this like color of azure goes over her eyes for a second, almost like a sheen on a bright day on a reflective surface. And her head kind of turns, almost looking off into like maybe the general direction they went, but sort of off into space a little bit, like she's having a vision. And she kind of just starts to wander off down the alley as if being led by some illusion she's seeing,
Hmm.
and disappears down the alley.
I will take a second to cast Mage Armor on myself, just in case.
Little mage armor, fantastic. Any other preparations before you go in to get a drink?
Oh.
Wait, is this the right time to draw a card from the deck?
Yeah,
Yes.
do it. Yes, yes, do it. This would be the perfect time.
All right, should I do it?
I
Yeah,
say yes, but then I'm like, no. Yes,
do it,
no.
do it, do it, do it. I'll give you if you do it. I'll give you inspiration.
You got to do
All
it.
right.
Everyone's
All
like,
right.
like getting ready. And he's like, and they all blow up.
All right. One card.
Okay, you're drawing one card. Go for it.
All right. Here we go. Wait. I don't remember how it works. What do I roll?
I'm letting you know right now. We'll use new edition deck of many things, which I think works the same. Roll me. This is from a 22 card deck. So roll me a D100, and I'll tell you what you get. I don't have my deck with me. I'm not my usual place. I'm sorry to say, but
Yeah, that's all right. Oh, D100. Sure.
Yeah.
Uh,
yes, yes, perfect way to.
I'm getting out the real dice for this one.
Yeah.
Ready? 35.
Okay. You pull from the deck a card and you look at it. And in it, you see sort of being held on a small little like ornamental stand. You see this massive gleaming green gemstone. And it says gem underneath it. And what happens to you in this moment is the card sort of vanishes into a mist and sort of trails down towards your feet. And this sort of like chest made of like green metallic mist appears. And the top opens, and inside you see 25 pieces of beautiful, exquisite jewelry made of diamonds and emeralds and rubies, the most precious stones you've ever seen. And about 1,000 gold of coinage, or sorry, excuse me, no coins. So
Yeah.
these beautiful, 25 exquisite pieces of jewelry, and mixed amongst them are just like solid cut marquee gemstones of, again, rubies and emeralds. Just this chest full of wealth appears at your feet.
Yay, this thing's fantastic. We should have been picking from this earlier.
A couple people on the street turn and look and kind of, ooh. And suddenly there's like a mob of poor people staring in your direction.
All right. Do we have a I can't remember, do I have a bag of holding?
I don't know. Do you?
Do any of us have a bag of holding?
Not yet. I
It'll
mean,
fit in
you
your
could
back.
always
It'll fit in
open
the
up your
pack?
little chest and just put it in the safe. Do you know what I mean? Within side chaplain.
You could eat it, Chaplain. Keep it in your stomach.
Uh,
Will it fit?
yeah, I don't know if it'll fit inside Chaplain.
No. You can put it in your backpacks. Like it's
You
not
think it
so
fit in the
much.
backpack? Okay.
Sure.
All right.
You'll have to divide it a bit. Like this is a chest of gemstones and jewelry, so you'll have to
Yeah.
distribute it amongst yourselves. But you guys start doing it. I'm gonna roll a little check to see. You see that they're like as you guys start like shoveling everything into your backpacks. Like you see that there's a little bit of like a there's a deep anxiety in the crowd as they're like, oh no, like it's going away, whatever. And but a mob attack doesn't quite. You guys are pretty well armed and you look pretty. Actually, you know what? Let's get a group intimidation check. I want a group intimidation check to see if you keep
Etherith
them
would
mobbed.
definitely be like inducing, like would definitely be like almost instinctively be like eyeing the crowd and trying to project at least some element of like stay the fuck back.
Yeah, yeah. Everyone, let's get a group
Yeah.
intimidation. See if you hold them at bay.
21 for me.
Nice,
16.
21 for me.
nice. Oh, Basan. Basan's like, woohoo!
Can I can I
He's
give
like,
this?
look at me! You're like actually showing off. You're like,
I'm so sorry.
we're
I'm so sorry.
rich!
I don't know how to justify that in story, but yeah, I rolled a one.
I honestly think the justification is like you're showing it off the sign. You're like, oh, these are beautiful. Like 15 carat. Like, you know what I mean? Like, but the rest of you are like, fuck off. And yeah, you guys
I'm gonna vomit.
you guys
so
don't
sorry.
despite Basan's display, you guys don't get mobbed. You guys are
Facade, get it together.
I'm so sorry.
You don't even know where we are.
okay. All right, you ready to see how fucking rich you are all of a sudden? Thanks to
Yes.
Chaplain's willingness to pull a card. You guys have earned, well, not earned. You guys have gained 25 pieces of jewelry worth 2,000 gold pieces each,
The fuck?
as well as 50 gemstones worth 1,000 gold each.
Are you reading a different set than I am? Mine says or. I think it's supposed to be 50,000 in
Or
yeah.
Gotcha.
It's supposed to be 50,000 in total.
Got it. You're right.
That was a whole ship there. Sorry, right, so 50,000 between us all.
We'll say it's jewelry because jewelry is fun. That's what I first described. So 25 pieces of jewelry worth 2,000 gold each. So let's say each of you have 5 pieces of jewelry worth 2,000 gold pieces each. And somebody can message. Ed's not here. We'll just say Saeed has it.
Yeah.
Yep.
And with that out of the way, and the mob sort of is like grumble, and continues on. I really wanted them to mob you. That would have been fun. See how you
That
guys
would've
deal
been-
with the mob attacking you. But nope, you intimidate them away. And as you guys go to boldly go into the cantina, we'll call our session to an end. And we will pick it up again in March, everybody.
Yes, you're away.
We will. So I am away. So thank you for your patience while I'm away, and hope you guys enjoyed the game.
Yes,
Happy
no, we did.
birthday.
Oh, thank you.
Because you're
Oh,
going
happy
that's your this is your birthday
Oh,
trip,
it's your
right?
birthday.
Yeah, it's a birthday trip.
Happy
Yeah.
birthday.
Got to do the dirty 30 right.
Jeez.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, this is 30 for you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is the big one. This
Oh,
is-
congratulations, man.
thank you.
Congratulations though, for real.
Well, happy birthday. And I hope you
It's-
enjoy your holiday.
Thanks, guys. Thank you. Yeah.